Welcome back to the Gatemen Baseball Network. Sorry we had some technical difficulties.
We mentioned the Wi-Fi was bad. We were prepped for it. And now running off Jack's hotspot. Thanks, Jack.
Yes, thank you so much to our fill-in producer, Jack Sedegan. What you missed while we were down, lead-up batter Noah Bridges walked and is now standing on second after a sacrifice bunt from Brett Roberts. Count's now 0-2 to Nathan Mortarella. So he fouls off another one to keep the count at 0-2. Still with one out.
Leadoff walk for the Gatemen stands on second base. Not the way Schmeltz wanted to start this inning. And he was bunted over, as you said, by Roberts. Martorella now down a couple.
Schmeltz steals and will miss high. First ball, set up a 1-2 count.
Nathan Martorella out of Cal Berkeley. Played baseball and football out of Salinas, California in high school. A great defensive lineman for a Salinas team.
Schmeltz steals on the 1-2. Curveball is battled off by Martorella. 1-2, 1 out. As Noah Bridges stands on second in scoring position. Schmeltz from the stretch will deal. Martorella sends this one in the left center gap. Diodati under it. 4 out, number 2.
Good piece of hitting from Nathan Martorella. The wind blowing in from that left center gap doesn't help him as he sent a drive in that direction. Diodati with plenty of time to get over it as the breeze that has continued to blow pretty strong here at Lowell Park held the ball up, gave Diodati plenty of a chance to make a play.
So that Matt Suggs, the left fielder, first pitch to him will miss outside.
Suggs lined out to Diodati his first time up. That led off the second inning. This is his first time facing Garrett Schmeltz, who came on in relief for Paul Skeens to start the third inning.
The 1-0 catches the zone. 1-1 now the count with 2 outs.
The Gatemen 1-3-1 against Cotuit this season, playing in their 6th and final interdivisional matchup.
Schmeltz from the waist, misses high to the righty. Suggs now in a hitter's count with a 2-1 count with 2 outs. And Noah Bridges standing on second.
Matthew Suggs is the first team All-CAA catcher this season out of UNC Wilmington.
Swings and a miss. Evens up the count at 2. Schmeltz with a chance to get out of the inning with no damage. 2-2 count, 2 outs.
His UNC Wilmington teammate, Noah Bridges, is the man at second base.
The 2-2 is sent into left field. Diodati sets under it and makes the catch to secure out number 3. To the 4th inning we go. Cotuit 2, Wareham 0, and you're listening to the Gatemen Radio Network.
Clobbered high and deep to right center field, and this one is gone. A home run.
That home run's brought to you by Eastern Propane and Oil, another scholarship for a deserving youth. Eastern Propane and Oil, we're in your neighborhood.
Curry College is where you go to become anything you want. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers with learning beyond the classroom. Explore undergraduate programs, including new majors in sport and recreational management, graphic design, marketing, and computer science, online at www.currycollege.edu.
Welcome back to the Gatemen Radio Network. 2-0 Cotuit in the top of the fourth. Jimmy Crooks will start things off, as he will be the first of Jimmy Crooks, Cameron James, and Owen Diodati.
Crooks saw just one pitch from Matthews his first time up, flew out to left.
First pitch of Crooks at bat will miss low for a ball. Crooks gets fooled on a curveball. 77 miles an hour, low and outside. Count is now 1-1. Here comes the 1-1 to the lefty Crooks. Curveball misses the zone again, 71. 2-1 now the count. The pitch will miss high.
Four straight sliders to Jimmy Crooks, but now in a fastball count, 3-1.
And Crooks will take a base with a leadoff walk. Gateman with another leadoff runner on first base. And Cameron James will be the first up to try to capitalize.
Well, that's the second inning in a row that the Gatemen have done that. Jack Brannigan singled to lead off the third. Now Crooks is aboard to start the fourth. They came up empty last time. We'll see what they do here with Cameron James at the dish.
Cameron James grounded out to shortstop in his first appearance. First pitch will miss outside for ball one.
Matthews will normally sit between 90 and 93 with that fastball. That last one to Cameron James at 89 miles per hour as he works later into this ball game, now into the fourth inning.
The 1-0 catches the inside corner of the zone, even up the count at 1. Crooks on first, no outs. To the national champion, Cameron James. Breaking ball misses outside. 2-1.
Infield double play depth for Cotuit. Runner on first base, nobody out. Brown and Ritter both pinched toward the second base bag.
Part of the zone, and Cameron James will battle it off for strike 2. Count is now even at 2 with no outs. Cameron James sends this one into center field. Grady under it for out number 1. Routine fly out for Cameron James will set up Owen Diodati out of Alabama.
Well, Quinn Matthews showed Cameron James all 3 of his pitches in that at-bat, the last of which was a changeup. James went down and got it, put good wood on it, but not quite hard enough to get it over the head of center fielder Jace Grady.
Matthews will go to work on Diodati. The lefty-lefty matchup will miss outside for strike one.
That's a big first pitch strike on Diodati. Now he can go to that slider he likes to throw to lefties if he so chooses. Diodati's had trouble with that pitch as well as breaking balls from lots of left-handers through the season.
Matthews been working the zone well tonight. Diodati will send this to left field. Another routine fly ball for Suggs. Suggs will get under it for out number 2. Back-to-back flyouts for Wareham will set up Kellen Clark. Gatemen in the navy blue jerseys with the gray pants. And Cotuit in the red shirt Friday Cape Cod jerseys with the camo hats and their pinstripe pants. Matthews will try Crooks at first.
Well, all the interns are expected to wear the red shirts on Red Shirt Friday, which I completely understand. The problem is when we go to away games and the home team wearing the red shirts is not the team we're with, it is a confusing look. We're wearing the exact same color as Cotuit is today.
James will send this one for a base hit to put 2 on. As he pushes the ball past Ritter, the shortstop, to put 2 on with 2 outs for Jack Brannigan, who singled in his first plate appearance.
Similar situation as last inning. Leadoff man aboard, then a couple quick outs before a base hit gives the Gatemen a chance to threaten and even score in this inning. But sometimes with 2 outs, it's too little too late. We'll see if Brannigan can prove me wrong. Would love to see him do so after singling his first time up.
Ball will miss outside. 1-0. Brannigan awaiting the pitch from the lefty Matthews. Ball thrown in the dirt for ball 2. Don't make sure the runners do not advance. As Matthews will fall behind 2-0 with 2 outs. Brannigan will send this to the left side. Crooks rounding third. And he will be standing up. RBI single for Jack Brannigan, his second hit of the night. Cuts a Cotuit lead in half, 2-1 now, with Cade Kern stepping into the box.
Well, this time Jack Brannigan steps up in a big way for the Gatemen. Got a pitch he could drive, dumped it into left field, and far enough away from the outfielder Suggs that Jimmy Crooks had enough time to score from second. Gatemen right back in this ball game behind 2-1 and still threatening with a couple base runners here in the 4th.
Pickoff attempt to Kellen Clark at second. He'll be safe.
Brannigan 2 for 4 versus Brewster a couple nights ago, and now already 2 hits in this Cotuit game. Cade Kern the same, 2 for 4 with a couple doubles.
Cade Kern, same spot as Kellen Clark's ball, but this one will not get through the infield. And he will get the runner Brannigan trying to advance for the 3rd out. Gatemen get 1 off a Jack Brannigan RBI single. It is 2-1 Cotuit, at the end of the top of the 4th. You're listening to the Gatemen Radio Network.
Clobbered high and deep to right center field, and
The Wareham Gatemen would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship. Franklin is proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. This summer, all 10 teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From the Cape to the majors, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin.
Feel the power of a GMC. Test drive one today at Robertson's GMC, down on Cranberry Highway.
Welcome back to the Gatemen Radio Network. After Jack Brannigan RBI single, the Cotuit lead is cut in half. 2-1 in favor of the Kettleers as Garrett Schmeltz goes back to work in the bottom of the fourth.
Schmeltz looked good last inning, gave up the leadoff walk, never a good sign. But after the sac bunt, got a couple quick outs and got the Gatemen out of the inning, keeping them right in this one. It's still 2-1. And the Gatemen now with the same number of hits as Cotuit after they came out of the gates hot. Both teams with 5 hits at this point in the ballgame, and the 9-hitter Matt Donlin stepping to the plate.
Matt Donlin's been great behind the plate. He's going to look at ball one.
Was ineligible in 2021 after transferring to Yukon from Stonehill College.
Send this one foul. And the kids will chase after it, as they always do here in Cape Cod.
Joins a long list of Yukon players here in the Cape League. Does Donlin.
Sends this one to the left side and will bloop in for a hit. In between the two Alabama guys in the Gatemen roster, Diodati in left, and Jarvis trying to track it down from shortstop. Leadoff hit for the Kettleers, puts runner on first for the leadoff batter, Jace Grady, the center fielder.
Well, that was a well-executed pitch from Schmeltz. Donlin got it off the end of the bat and just far enough over the outstretched glove of Jim Jarvis. That is a tough out not to get, given that it's the 9-hitter, and now Schmeltz will go to work against the top of the order.
Bunt. The first pitch fell down the third baseline. Ball thrown a little bit too inside on a drag run attempt.
Well, they tried that last inning with the sacrifice bunt from Brett Roberts. The rally ultimately stalled after they had the leadoff man aboard. And with the top of the order now, Jace Grady 1 for 1 with a walk. I'm a little bit surprised to see Mike Roberts trying to take the bat out of his hand.
Don't want to be checked at first from Schmeltz.
At the same time, the way this game is started, low scoring, manufacturing a run in this situation might be the way to go if it stays this way the rest of the time.
Schmeltz deals on the 0-1. Hit to Cameron James, to Tommy Troy. And a 5-4-3 double play for Wareham will get the first 2 outs of the inning, as the third baseman Carter Trice will step in for his third plate appearance.
Well, that's the last thing you want, and probably what Roberts was trying to avoid with the bunt. Instead, a hard chopper to third base. Cameron James and Tommy Troy turn it smoothly, and Kellum Clark on the receiving end for the first 2 outs of the fourth inning.
Should also find the zone early. 0-1 to the third baseman. Schmeltz breaking ball misses low for the 1-1.
Carter Trice, the batter, a .355 hitter this year at Old Dominion.
This one fouled off. 1-2 now the count.
And credits a lot of his success in college this year with breathing techniques that he works on at the plate. He breathes in, holds it, counts to 5, and then lets it out. That's been his go-to, and although it sounds weird, the batting average backs it up.
He's going to look at the fourth pitch, low. Even up the count at 2 with 2 outs. No runners on after the double play by Jace Grady. In the bottom of the fourth. Schmeltz delivers. And swinging strike 3 from Carter Trice. Schmeltz will start off the mound as the Kettleers lead 2-1 at the end of 4. You're listening to the Gatemen Radio Network.
The 99 Restaurant and Pub is proud to be a sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Visit your local 99 and try their famous colossal lobster rolls. Piled high on grilled brioche and served hot buttered or with just the right amount of mayo and celery with fries and coleslaw. The 99, always the real deal.
Baseball Factory is a company specializing in player development and college placement of high school baseball players. We care about guiding players to a college that is the perfect fit. Give us a call at 877-752.
Top 5 as we welcome you back on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Our writer, Barrett Hodgson, doing the honors of producing while Jack Eaton steps out, which I think marks the 6th producer that we've burned through this season. Number of guys stepping up in a big way. Appreciate it, Barrett, as Tres Gonzalez leads it off for the Gatemen.
Also, welcome to the away crew, Barrett. Nice to have one of our 6 members with us.
Writing recaps. You can catch those on the Gatemen Baseball website under 2021 recaps. If you ever miss a game here on the Gatemen Baseball Network, he'll have you filled in. As Tres Gonzalez swings through the first 2 pitches from Quinn Matthews, who's back on the mound for his 5th inning of work. Gonzalez gets a slider and takes it for strike 3. Matthews continues to cut through this Gatemen order. Gave up a run off a leadoff walk in the 4th, but back out there mowing down a very good hitter in Tres Gonzalez on 3 pitches. 2-1 is the lead for Cotuit in the top of the 5th. They've out-hit the Gatemen 6-5 as Jim Jarvis stands in and takes strike 1. Two straight lefties leading it off for the Gatemen in this inning. 4 sliders thrown from Quinn Matthews. Got Gonzalez on 3 pitches. Now Jim Jarvis behind 0-1. And another slider spit on in the dirt. 1-1 is the count, 1 out. Nobody aboard for the Gatemen. Trailing 2-1 to Cotuit in a big must-win game for Wareham in terms of these divisional standings. Trying to battle back out of that 4th spot and move into 2nd place to get the last playoff spot in the West. First, it's a slider to Jarvis. Drops in for a strike. 1-2 on the lefty out of Alabama. Jarvis 1 for 2 with a single. And he takes a fastball upstairs at 90 miles per hour, evens the count at 2.
The 2-strike approach we always love to see from Jim Jarvis.
Two pitches, another slider away. And the count goes full. Jarvis trying to get something going for the Gatemen, who trail this one by 1. After him, it'll be Matthews' teammate Tommy Troy, who's 0 for 2 against the left-hander out of Stanford. The pitch to Jarvis is called strike 3. He knew it. Jim Jarvis, normally with a very good eye, heading back to the dugout after striking out, looking the 2nd time today. Two batters, 2 backwards Ks in the top of the 5th. And now Tommy Troy stands in against his Stanford teammate. Matthews was all sliders to Troy. his first time up, but that was a first pitch fastball that missed low, ball one. Another fastball that's on the ground to the shortstop. Ryan Ritter to his glove side and makes the play for out number 3. A quick inning is the 5th inning for Quinn Matthews, who continues his success against the Gatemen. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th, behind 2-1 on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
One of the Gatemen's favorite places for their post-game meals is Cool Cone, where you can get anything from fried clams and fried chicken to an ice cream sundae, and then top it all off with a round of mini golf. Cool Cone, located on Route 6 on the Wareham-Marion line.
Badger Sport is a leading provider of superior quality team uniforms and performance athletic wear, including performance t-shirts, fleeces, shorts, and pants. From the fields to the stands and at every practice along the way, Founders Sport Group makes authentic, quality apparel accessible at the speed of the sport. Visit foundersport.com today.
For a nostalgic Cape Cod vacation experience, head to Bay Motor Inn, where guests are treated like family. Located in the heart of Buzzards Bay Village, this 1950s-style cottage colony still provides you with up-to-date amenities. The Gatemen thank the Bay Motor Inn for their support.
Bottom 5 coming your way on the Gatemen Baseball Network, and a tough part of the Kettleer order to face Garrett Schmeltz for the first time. It's Ryan Ritter, Eric Brown, and Noah Bridges. And Ritter stands in 1 for 1 with a single, a walk, and a run scored. Takes the slider for ball 1 from Garrett Schmeltz, on for his 3rd inning of work. Slider misses up and away. And now a 2-0 count on Ryan Ritter. 7-game hit streak for the shortstop out of Kentucky. And now he has a 3-0 count after a fastball high from Schmeltz.
This is not a guy you want to lead off with a walk. And a very dangerous bat on deck, who we've mentioned many times, is Eric Brown Jr.
And it puts good speed on the base paths as Ritter takes ball 4 on 4 pitches from Schmeltz. Ritter has one of the 2 runs scored in the ball game for Cotuit, who lead this one 2-1. And now his middle infield mate, Eric Brown, is the batter. Brown 1 for 2 with a single and a run. Schmeltz stares down Ritter, now comes home, and that one is sliced foul over the first base side. Six hits for Cotuit, 5 hits for Wareham. They lead 2-1. Bottom of the 5th inning as Schmeltz works out of the stretch, comes set, and now delivers to Brown. Breaking ball misses high. Count goes 1-1.
Eric Brown Jr., another guy who likes to battle the plate, work the pitch count of Garrett Schmeltz. Definitely worked Paul Skeens in the 2 plate appearances that he got to face him.
Fastball down Broadway is strike 2. You mentioned in the first inning that Brown is a guy who likes to pull the ball. Will jump on anything Schmeltz throws on the inside corner. We'll see if he tries to stay away here, 1-2. Slider is chopped third base side and foul. Glove just wide of the bag by Cameron James, who was ready to make a throw, but got the call from the home plate umpire. It is foul, and we try it again, 1-2. Brown hitting .247, 3 home runs, all of them against the Gatemen this season. Picked up his 15th RBI back in the first inning. The 1-2 will have to wait as Schmeltz goes to first. Ritter stands there after walking on 4 pitches to lead off the inning. Brown out of Coastal Carolina, starting at second base as he has done almost every game for Cotuit. Plays shortstop and is the leadoff hitter for Coastal. But in the cleanup spot today is the 1-2 from Schmeltz is a breaking ball taken up and away.
Jimmy Crooks wanted that one. Stuck it there, turned his head, and then delivered it right back to Schmeltz. Good pitch placement by Schmeltz on the what was 1-2 count, now even up at 2.
Schmeltz from the belt, kicks and fires. Ground ball to the third baseman, it's James. Crowhop goes to second, and now first base, and that's a double play. The second 5-4-3 double play turned by the Gatemen in as many innings. And once again, the threat averted for the time being. Three consecutive innings for Cotuit where the leadoff man has been aboard, and the Gatemen cut down the last 2 of them by way of the double play. Now 2 outs, nobody on, and Noah Bridges in the box who takes ball 1.
Noah Bridges aboard twice. A single and a walk.
That pitch is popped up to the left side. Cameron James ranging over now behind the bag in foul territory. And at third base, he makes the catch. Garrett Schmeltz bailed out with a double play once again. We go to the 6th on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Wareham House of Pizza has been serving Wareham and Marion for over 40 years with steak and cheese, pizza, and subs. Located in Shaw's Plaza, head on over for pickup or let them deliver to you. Located on the Cape Cod Canal, Keystone Place at Buzzards Bay is the area's newest rental independent living, assisted living, and memory care community. With some of the area's largest apartments and an ultra-inclusive monthly service package, Keystone Place is a life-fulfilling retirement community unlike any other. Discover Keystone Place, the best option in Cape Cod.
One of the Gatemen's favorite places for their post-game meals is Cool Cone, where you can get anything from fried clams and fried chicken to an ice cream.
Top of the 6th on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Jimmy Crooks will lead it off for the Gatemen. He's led off He's led off in 2 innings for the Gatemen, now for the 3rd time in the ball game. In the cleanup spot is Crooks, and he works against Quinn Matthews, back out, trying to get through 6 for Cotuit.
Jimmy Crooks the lone run for the Wareham Gatemen in this 2-1 ball game.
Slider swung on and missed. That's been Matthews' bread and butter all evening. Sliders to lefties, changeups to righties. But more importantly, getting tons of swings and misses from these Gatemen hitters. As that one's tapped back to Matthews on the mound. Throws from the third base side of the mound to get the out. Jimmy Crooks has had a couple of quick at-bats against Matthews and is retired for the 2nd time today. One out in the inning, nobody on, and Cameron James coming to the dish. First pitch fastball to James, misses outside. James 0 for 2 today with a ground out to shortstop and a fly out to center. As a changeup misses in the same spot as the first pitch, and now a 2-0 count on the third baseman out of Mississippi State.
That ball low was Matthews' 80th pitch of the night. So he's now gone 5 1/3.
Fastball low and inside, now 3-0 on Cameron James, and this might be the first sign of fatigue that we've seen setting in for Quinn Matthews. 3 balls, no strikes, and I would imagine the leash is short in this situation as he gets a fastball over for strike 1. Haven't seen too many guys in the Cape League work through 6 innings, but Matthews is trying to do it here. Now through 5 1/3, and a breaking ball high is ball 4 to Cameron James.
Some action in the Cotuit bullpen. Harrison Cohen pitched against Gatemen multiple times this season. The right-hander out of George Washington.
Now 2 straight lefties coming up for the Gatemen. I would imagine that if Matthews fails to retire either one of these guys, that will be it. Runner on first base, he checked Cameron James a moment ago. Now comes home with the first pitch to Diodati. It's a slider up and inside. And now 5 of Matthews' last 6 pitches have been out of the strike zone.
As you said, those signs of fatigue have been showing. Let's see if Cameron James can take advantage of it. Excuse me, Diodati.
Diodati fouls that pitch off. 2 straight breaking balls to Diodati. Count evens at 1. 0-3 for his last 21. Base is a 1-1 count. Here's the pitch from Matthews. Breaking ball up and in. 3 straight sliders to Owen. Callum Clark waits on deck. Diodati 1 for 2 with a single. That came back in the second inning. Now a 2-1 count. There's a fastball fouled off over the third base dugout.
Some good news. The rain has cleared out of the radar, and we are in the clear with 3 innings left to play.
Quinn Matthews has been spectacular so far for the Kettleers. Trying to put Diodati away. The 2-2 pitch. Foul down the left field line. That will get out of play. And Diodati lives to fight another day. Cameron James is the runner at first base. He walked a moment ago after Jimmy Crooks grounded out to Matthews to start the inning. 2-2 to Diodati, 1 out. 2-1 lead for the Kettleers. That one popped up. Foul down the third base side. Tracking it over is Trice, and it's on top of the dugout. Diodati just got a piece of that one and continues to fight with 2 strikes. Carter Trice off the line at third base. Infield double play depth for the Kettleers. The pitch to Diodati. Cut on and missed, strike 3. Owen Diodati down on strikes on what was another beautiful slider from Quinn Matthews. And he is 1 out away from getting through the 6th inning. And Mike Roberts might not let him do it. The Cotuit manager out of the dugout. And we'll stay here for a moment and see what he decides to do. Would be surprised to see him yank Matthews right now with another lefty coming to the plate and a righty warming up in the pen. It looks, at least for the time being, like he will stay on the mound. The infield is come toward the rubber. They'll meet with their manager and battery mates Quinn Matthews and Matt Donlin. And now the home plate umpire out to break up the conference.
Pitch count is up to 91.
But Roberts will leave him in.
He will.
He'll be charged with a mound visit, and Matthews will have one more chance to get out of this 6th inning. Cameron James, the runner at first base, his Mississippi State teammate Kellum Clark now stands in the batter's box. Lefty as the first pitch cut on and missed. It's a slider as James takes off for second base. The throw down not in time. A good dirt ball read from Cameron James. Had Donlin up and throwing, but not in time to get the runner, and it moves James into scoring position for the Gatemen. Clark needs a hit to tie the ball game. James now scoots off second base as the 0-1 is grounded first base side and foul. Kellum Clark 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. Facing Matthews for the 3rd time in the ballgame. Not too many times in the Cape League do you see a pitcher go 3 times through the order. But a chance to do most of it right here. First we wait as a check on the runner at second base. 0-2 to Kellum Clark, 2 outs. Cameron James at second, the lone base runner. He's the tying run as the Gatemen face a 2-1 deficit here in the top of the 6th. The southpaw out of Stanford needs one more strike to get through 6. Sets at the chest. Here's the pitch. Slider just missed outside. Strong take from Kellum Clark, and the count goes 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. Ripped foul down the first base line. Breaking ball at 78 miles per hour. Clark was ready for it and turned on it, pulled it just wide of the field of play.
Almost in fair territory. Would have scored James more than likely. Tie the ball game up at 2. Nonetheless, we're sitting here with 2 outs and a 1-2 count.
Matthews, the furthest thing from impatient here, has stepped off the rubber a number of times with 2 strikes on Kellum Clark. In no hurry to get out of this inning, but a chance to do it with this pitch. The 1-2. Grounded right side. Eric Brown will have it. That's a routine play for out number 3. A gem from Quinn Matthews as he will exit this ball game up 2-1. His team coming up in the bottom of the 6th.
Badger Sport is a leading provider of superior.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
We appreciate and thank the sponsors who support the Cape League and the 10 teams.
Feel the power of a GMC. Test drive one today at Robertson's GMC, down on Cranberry Highway.
2-1 ball game in favor of the Kettleers as we start the bottom of the 6th on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Nick Magas alongside Harrison Eaton for the first time on the YouTube stream this season. Thanks for joining me, Harrison.
Of course.
And thanks to all our listeners for tuning in to this audio-only stream as Garrett Schmeltz takes the mound again for the Gatemen. Gets a curveball over the outside corner to Brett Roberts, the 6th hitter and leadoff man in this 6th inning. Fastball cut on and missed. Schmeltz quickly ahead 0-2 on Roberts out of Florida State University. Once again from the windup, there's strike 3. Curveball grabbed the outside corner, and Roberts retired on 3 pitches for the first out of the bottom of the 6th. Schmeltz came on in the 3rd inning after Skeens worked through the first 2 for the Gatemen. Misses upstairs with a fastball to Nathan Martorella. He's allowed 2 walks and a hit, but yet to allow an earned run, and now has worked through 3 1/3 with a couple Kettleers left to face in this inning. First, a ground ball to the first base side. Schmeltz over to cover after it was picked up by Kellum Clark, and they get the out for the 2nd here in the bottom of the 6th.
Quick inning thus far for Schmeltz. 2 outs already.
Great job by Garrett Schmeltz after Skeens exited early. Could have been a tough game for the Gatemen bullpen and had the looks of a game that would use up a lot of pitchers. Instead, Schmeltz has come in, worked through 3 2/3, and now a drive down the left field line is just wide of the left field line. Diodati chases it into the corner, but it's foul and strike 1 on Matthew Suggs. Instead, Schmeltz has come out of the pen and Eaton innings. Now just a few left to pitch. We'll see who the Gatemen bring out after the left-hander out of Louisville. Been a reliable presence out of the Gatemen pen. This is the 7th time we've seen him this season. As that's a ground ball up the middle. Diving attempt by Troy, and it's into center field. Matt Suggs with a 2-out base hit for the Kettleers.
It's only Schmeltz's 2nd hit he's given up in the 3 2/3 innings he's pitched so far.
4 base runners allowed now, 1 in each inning he's pitched. 2 walks and 2 hits. Now 2 outs in the inning, runner at first base, and it's a short lead for Matt Suggs. Schmeltz delivers and gets a fastball at 89 miles per hour in the zone past Matt Donlin. Donlin, the catcher out of UConn, stands at the plate for the 3rd time today. The runner takes off. The throw from Crooks sails into center field. Now Suggs is around second base. He will take 3rd. And a throwing error by the catcher, Jimmy Crooks, puts a runner 90 feet away and a big potential insurance run for the Kettleers.
Uncharacteristic mistake from the catcher, Jimmy Crooks. Something he doesn't do often. But he did it, and it's a costly one.
Crooks has been a stalwart defender behind the plate for the Gatemen, but right there, a throw sailed, got into center field, and on a stolen base from Suggs ends up putting him on 3rd. 1-2 count on Donlin, who's 2 for 2 with a couple of singles. 2-1 lead for Cotuit. 1 strike to get for Schmeltz. That one's ripped on the right side and through. Cotuit takes a 3-1 lead on an RBI single for Matt Donlin, who is now 3 for 3 on the day.
Two-out rally developing for Cotuit. After I may have jinxed it after I said a very quick inning for Schmeltz, as George Carlejo, the pitching coach, will go out and meet with Crooks and Schmeltz, but walking strikeout from Roberts. and a ground out to first base. Back-to-back two-out singles, one which ended up bringing the runner in from third from 90 feet away as Jimmy Crooks sailed it into the outfield to advance him to third and then previously scored. But
3-1 now the score in favor of Cotuit. They've scored all 3 runs with 2 outs. First inning, 2 outs recorded with the bases empty before Ritter and Brown and Bridges put together a rally to score a couple, and now 2 batters put out by Schmeltz before Suggs singled, and Matt Donlin turns that into another run and a big insurance run for Cotuit. Now top of the order coming up. Carlejo returns to the dugout. Crooks returns back behind the plate. And a ground ball on the first pitch to Jace Grady is to Cameron James. He goes to second, and a fielder's choice for Jace Grady is the third out. The Kettleers add 1 more. We go to the 7th on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Curry College is where you go to become anything you want. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers with learning beyond the classroom. Explore undergraduate programs, including new majors in sport and recreational management, graphic design, marketing, and computer science, online at www.currycollege.edu. Whether you are recently retired or still working, Fairway Financial can help you create clearly defined retirement income strategies to help protect your wealth, create guaranteed income for life, and provide a legacy for your family. We are committed to earning your trust by thoroughly understanding your goals and dreams and helping you gain greater financial confidence. To learn more, visit Fairway Financial in South Yarmouth or go to fairwayfinancial.net.
Curry College is where you go to become anything. Welcome back to the Gatemen Radio Network. Harrison Eaton alongside Nick Magas in a 3-1 ball game after an RBI single from Cotuit extends their lead. New pitcher on the mound after Quinn Matthews' day is done for Cotuit. It is Harrison Cohen out of George Washington.
Well, Harrison Cohen had a rough start to the Cape League season. Pitched on June 24th and June 30th, both of those games starts, and gave up 4 and 6 runs, 10 combined earned runs in those 2 innings of work. From there, he was relegated to the bullpen, and he has been much more effective coming into ball games out of the pen. Now just 3 earned runs since then allowed in 7 outings of work. He's gone 21 2/3 for Cotuit. And while the ERA is a little bit higher than he would like it, greatly inflated by those first 2 outings, and since then, since the start of July, he has been very, very good. The right-hander out of George Washington. Saw him pitch in Wareham a couple times. Went 4 innings back on July 12th, and then in Wareham went 3 innings on July 25th. Did not allow an earned run in either one of those appearances, and has had great success against the Gatemen so far. The teammate of Anthony Frechette and Cade Fergus, neither one of those guys, though, in the lineup tonight, so unlikely that they will face their college teammate as Harrison Cohen takes the mound, and Jack Brannigan comes to the plate for Wareham.
Three batters he will face, as you mentioned. He will face Jack Brannigan to lead it off with Cade Kern, the outfielder from Ohio State, and Tres Gonzalez, the outfielder from Georgia Tech. Brannigan makes to look at 3 for 3 on the night after 2 back-to-back singles he has. He's going to look at a ball upstairs.
The Gatemen need a rally, and this is the part of the order that can start it off.
Cohen deals from the head in the windup. Brannigan's going to look at strike 1. Fastball clocking in at 91 miles per hour on the inside corner. And a ball that seemed inside the strike zone, well, at least to these Cotuit fans. Misses for a ball. Count is now 2-1.
To the Cotuit fans, every pitch is a strike.
Yeah. That's what happens when you enter enemy territory. As Brannigan's going to send this one down the right field line and foul.
Finish him off, babe. Let's go. Come on, kid.
2-2 now the count. No outs to the leadoff batter, Jack Brannigan out of Notre Dame.
Can't emphasize the importance of this game enough. The Gatemen battling for a playoff spot in the mix with 3 teams, one of which is Cotuit. And they hold the advantage over the Gatemen and Falmouth as of right now. Brannigan needs to find a way aboard. The Gatemen behind by 2 runs.
Brannigan looks at a ball in the dirt. Jack Brannigan with a homer, in which was one of the biggest college baseball games of the postseason between Mississippi State, the eventual national champions, and Notre Dame. A home run in the 6th inning that put them ahead 8-1 in that game.
Brannigan yet to homer in the Cape League, but has played a very good third base, designated hitter, and we've seen him on the mound for the Gatemen.
He sends this one to right field. It's going to get down for a hit. Will be extra bases for number 9 as he's going to round second, heading into third, diving, and he is safe. Lead off triple for Jack Brannigan. Huge moment for the Wareham Gatemen.
Well, this kid cannot stop hitting. Got a fastball on the outer part, drove it the other way, all the way to the wall, and he was thinking 3 out of the box. Turned it into a triple, and with a head-first dive into third base, a good chance for the Gatemen to get a run out of that and pull within 1 in the ballgame. He is fired up, trying to pump up his dugout, and Cade Kern with the first crack at driving in a run for Wareham.
3 for 3 day for Jack Brannigan. Cade Kern checks up his swing and will be called a strike. 0-1 to Kern.
That was a 2-strike hit to make it even more impressive for Jack Brannigan.
Kern chops this one on the left side of the infield. And we bobbled up, but we'll score Brannigan, and it's an errant throw as well. So yeah, that one is scored, but nonetheless, Wareham gets one across to cut the Cotuit lead to just 1.
Cade Kern comes up, didn't hit it hard, but did his job. Put it in play, and with the infield playing back for Cotuit, did just enough to score a run and once again cut the deficit to a run.
Will be charged an error. Not surprising on that play.
The error will go on Carter Trice, the third baseman.
No out. Kern on first to the leadoff batter, Tres Gonzalez. Gonzalez looks at a ball high. Gonzalez hitless tonight after previously going 10 for 15 in the previous 3 games. Looks at the 1-0. Ball misses the zone inside. Bring the count to 2-0. Mound visit between Cohen and Eric Brown Jr. And the long wait is over. Tres Gonzalez waiting the 2-0 with no outs. Ball misses outside again. 3-0. Green light is on for the red-hot Tres Gonzalez.
Go get him, kid.
Jarvis on deck.
There you go. Go get him again, baby. Go get him again. Let's go, Harrison. D behind you, right at him.
Gonzalez looks at strike one. Hitters count for Tres Gonzalez. Cohen deals. Gonzalez cuts on this one up the middle and will get through. A diving Eric Brown Jr. as Kern is going to round second and head back. Great catch by Ritter. 2 on with no outs. To the left-handed batter, Jim Jarvis, shortstop out of Alabama.
Well, Kern took a big turn around second base, and I thought for a second he was going to get thrown out. You mentioned that catch by Ritter, who was getting the throw in from center field and tried to snag it, make a slap tag on Cade Kern, who got back to the bag in time, and the Gatemen continue to threaten with a couple runners aboard.
First pitch to Jarvis. Misses low and inside.
Mentioned the kind of day that Quinn Matthews had. 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run, and was fantastic for Cotuit. But that only means so much when you can't bring an arm out of the bullpen and hold the lead. Cohen trying to do that now, and he's had trouble to this point.
Another ball misses low. Jarvis goes ahead 2-0.
Jarvis 1 for 3 with a single and a couple strikeouts. Both Ks have been looking, and an uncharacteristic day at the plate for the most part for Jim Jarvis. Has a chance to make up for it here.
The go-ahead run, Gonzalez is at first. Jarvis now ahead 3-0 after the ball misses high and away.
Harrison Cohen steps behind the mound, tries to reset the second consecutive 3-0 count he's faced, and it is never easy to pitch working back from behind in the count. Got a strike to Gonzalez, but then a 3-1 hit. Here's Jarvis in the same situation.
Jarvis attempts a bunt, but will pull back, and the bases will be loaded after a 4-pitch walk. Tommy Troy with no outs and the bases loaded. As Mike Roberts will make a visit out of the dugout to meet with Harrison Cohen.
I believe the man in the bullpen is Trevor Kunkel.
Saw him the other night.
Also out of George Washington. At Spillane Field a few nights ago, they went George Washington, then George Washington out of the pen, did Mike Roberts, and they looked to try and put those two back-to-back once again. We'll see if he pulls Cohen right here or if he sticks with his guns. And in a bases-loaded, nobody-out situation, Tommy Troy with a chance to drive in a boatload.
In the top of the 7th, 3-2 Cotuit.
One at a time, kid. Come on. Trust it here. Go get him.
Tommy Troy looks to take the lead for the Wareham Gatemen. 1-1 the count with no outs. Bases loaded. Kern on third. Gonzalez on second. Jarvis on first. Ball misses low. Good stop by Dolan.
The one thing Troy cannot do here is strike out. The Gatemen have had issues with that all season. Troy, who was 0 for 3, could come up with a hit in a big situation.
Gonzalez rips this one foul on the left field line. Goes out of play. It's now 2-2 to the Stanford second baseman.
Troy faced his Stanford teammate Matthews his first 3 times up. This is his first time against Cohen.
Sends this one into left field. Suggs is under it. The Kern will be sent home to tie up the ball game at 3. Gonzalez and Jarvis stay put at second and first. But is now 3-3 with the all-star catcher Jimmy Crooks at the plate. Mike Roberts points to the bullpen, and we will have a pitching change. We will tell you about the new pitcher when we come back. You're listening to the Gatemen Radio Network.
That double play is brought to you by TM Ryder Insurance Agency. Package your home and auto insurance for the perfect double play.
Village Signs of Mattapoisett. They do it all, from logo design, trucks and buildings, to boats. Village Signs has proudly served Southern New England for over 35 years. Visit them at villagesigns.inc.com for all your signage needs.
The Gatemen would like to thank Wareham Country Market for helping to feed the Gatemen players and staff after games. They are located about a quarter of a mile from the field on Route 6, offering a convenience store, a Dunkin' Donuts, and a deli.
Welcome back to the Gatemen Radio Network. 3-3 ball game here in Cotuit with 1 out and Jimmy Crooks at the dish. New pitcher on the mound out of George Washington, Trevor Kunkel. Crooks awaits the first pitch and will miss outside for ball 1. Gonzalez on second, Jarvis on first. Correction on the last name. It's Trevor Kunsel. Kunsel will miss low for ball 2.
Kunsel came on in relief for Harrison Cohen, teammates out of George Washington University, also teammates here in Cotuit. Kunsel pitched against Wareham back on July 25th, went 3 innings, did not allow an earned run, and has not allowed an earned run in the CCBL so far.
Crooks sends this one down left field line and will land foul. 2-1 now to Jimmy Crooks.
Gatemen have tied the game in this inning. Still runners at first and second after a couple runs came home. Those charged to Harrison Cohen.
Jimmy Crooks looks to the ball outside. 3-1 now the count. 2 on, runner in scoring position for Jimmy Crooks.
Crooks already with 2 home runs this year.
Crooks with a big hack. Swings and misses for strike number 2, full count.
A deceptive delivery for Kunzel. Drops and drives, comes from a pretty low arm slot, but still gets it up to the plate. That fastball at 93. So deceptive, moves a lot, and gets on hitters quickly. Crooks found that out a moment ago. Now here's the 3-2.
Looking strike 3 for Jimmy Crooks. As Kunzel comes in the game and gets a quick out, number 1.
Good job right there, kid. That a boy. Another out.
Now batting is Cameron James, number 13, out of Mississippi State. Kunzel with the breaking ball gets in there for strike 1. Cameron James pops this one up to the right side of the infield. Under it is Martorella, and he will secure it for out number 3. Gatemen get 2 in the inning. After a leadoff triple from Jack Brannigan, we are tied up at 3, heading to the bottom of the 7th.
Beat the heat and join us at Waterways, a water experience unlike any other this side of the bridge. Open daily, head over to the water park on Route 28, the Cranberry Highway.
South Coast Health Operators of Charlton Memorial, St. Luke's, and Toby Hospitals delivers an unmatched combination of clinical excellence with a personal touch. They are proud to serve as Southeastern Massachusetts and Rhode Island's only not-for-profit health system, as well as the region's largest employer. South Coast Healthcare, plus something more.
Catchers aren't the only ones protecting home. With Rogers Gray, you have more coastal homeowners insurance options and a true expertise in their people. Protect your home with Rogers Gray. Rogers Gray is a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Learn more at rogersgray.com.
Welcome back to the Gatemen Radio Network. 3-3 ball game in the bottom of the 7th. New pitcher for the Gatemen, Eli Saul, out of Sacramento State. Nick, what do you have on him?
Saul on for the 7th time this season. 6.30 ERA across 10 innings pitched. 10 strikeouts, 9 walks. Come mostly out of the bullpen for the Gatemen. Just 1 start made on the season, and those 9 walks in 10 innings, not a pretty number. That's been Saul's Achilles heel this season, as he hails from Vancouver, British Columbia, playing for Sacramento State and pitching for the Gatemen, trying to protect what is currently a 3-3 tie.
Huge top of the 7th from Wareham. Jack Brannigan lighting the fire in the Gatemen offense. And as Dodson has mentioned before, hitting is contagious, and that held to be true in the 7th inning.
Skeen started off for the Gatemen, had a little bit of trouble, got through just 2 innings, gave up 2 runs, and then Garrett Schmeltz, for the most part, was fantastic. Through 4 innings, gave up 1 earned run, and those 3 earned are exactly where we sit right now. The Gatemen offense came back, scored a couple last inning, and if you're just joining us, you are in for a good one.
Eli Saul's first pitch. His outing against Cotuit misses high for a ball. To the batter, Carter Trice, third baseman out of Old Dominion. Saul delivers and is fouled off.
Hey, here we go, boys.
Back to the backstop. 1-1 count. No outs, no one on.
This game has huge implications in the West Division playoff picture. The Gatemen, a couple games behind Cotuit, who currently hold that second playoff spot. Falmouth in the mix as well, as they jump out to a 4-0 lead over Hyannis as we look around the league. That game in the top of the third.
Third pitch to Trice is fouled for strike number 2.
And a tie in this game does not do the Gatemen any good.
Trice sends this one shallow left field. Diodati under it and secures the catch for out number 1 in the bottom of the 7th. This will bring up Ryan Ritter, shortstop out of the University of Kentucky.
Ritter 1 for 1 with a run scored and a couple walks. From the south side of Chicago, playing for Kentucky.
Bunt attempt. Lands foul.
Played on the same travel team in high school as our very own Jack Brannigan. Brannigan not in the field tonight, but batting 8th for the Gatemen, the designated hitter. They went head-to-head in high school, played together in high school from a similar area outside Chicago.
Ritter sends this one down the right field line. He's going to land fair. Kern picks it up as Ritter rounds second, heading for third. Jarvis with a wild throw and a great backup from Eli Saul after an errant throw by Jim Jarvis. As Ryan Ritter is standing up on third with a 1-out triple.
Well, Ritter continues his tear at the plate. Now 2 for 2. There's a leadoff triple after Brannigan did it for the Gatemen, right as we were talking about those two guys. Ritter sends a ball down the right field line, takes 3 bags, and Eli Saul with a backup saves that ball from going out of play. A heads-up play by the pitcher, exactly where he needs to be, but saving a run just for the time being. The leadoff man at third, and not a good situation for the Gatemen to be in, especially with Eric Brown coming to the plate.
George Carlejo taking a mound visit with Eli Saul.
Cannot emphasize enough how much that backup from Saul meant. As a pitcher, it's easy to put your head down to sulk off the mound after giving up a hit like that, but he gets behind third, he backs up the play, and on a throw from Jarvis that was well high of third base, would have gone out of play without a question. Saul was there and saves the run from coming home.
Indeed, for those who don't know the ruling, if the ball goes out of play, it works as if it's a ground rule double situation. The runner would get 2 free bases. The home plate umpire will come to the mound and try to break up the mound visit between Jimmy Crooks, Eli Saul, and George Carlejo. Can't see the bullpen from where we're positioned here at Cotuit. We can assume that there is activity in the Wareham bullpen for the later parts of this game.
Eric Brown 1 for 3 with a run scored. He grounded into a double play in his last trip in the 5th. And now the infield in for the Gatemen, trying to protect the lead. A ball in the air toward the outfield should score the run and give Cotuit the lead.
Eric Brown Jr. lays down a bunt. Callum Clark.
Well done. Let's go.
And Callum Clark and Eric Brown Jr. will dance around the first base path, but will eventually be tagged out. But Cotuit takes the lead off a sacrifice bunt from the bat of Eric Brown Jr. out of Coastal Carolina. 4-3 Cotuit.
And that is a gutsy sacrifice bunt with the infield in at all 4 positions. Brown still decides to lay one down. It was a good one, and the safety squeeze pays off for the Kettleers.
First pitch from Saul to Bridges is a ball. With 2 outs, nobody on. This ball is sent deep into right field. Kern takes one look at it and watches it go over the right field fence. Solo home run for Noah Bridges, and Cotuit extends their lead 5-3.
Well, that's the first of the CCBL season for Noah Bridges as he touches home. That was an absolute bomb. Cade Kern out in right field barely turned his back as he just watched that fly over the right field fence. Everybody in the ballpark knew that one off the bat. And the Cotuit Kettleers go right back on top, 5-3.
This one sent foul to Barrett Roberts. Sends this one to the right field. Kern chasing on it. And this one will land foul to the right fielder, Kern. Cotuit now with double-digit hits after the solo homer from Noah Bridges that pushed Cotuit ahead 5-3 late in the 7th inning.
Brett Roberts in the box now after fouling that pitch off. A .343 hitter with 5 home runs this year at Tennessee Tech. Transferring to Florida State. Roberts out of Atlanta, Georgia.
Chop this one past Saul, and Jarvis fails to scoop it up.
Well, it was just a tapper past the pitcher's mound, and Jarvis has one chance at that ball. Slow ground ball, has to get it and throw it in one motion, and it's a risky play for a shortstop, but when you don't have a choice to set your feet, you don't have a choice to try and get a good grip on the ball, you just have to go with it. And Jarvis unable to get the job done. Should go down as an infield single.
And it will. First pitch to Martorella. Finds his own for strike one. The 0-1 from Saul. This one's popped up to Jarvis, called off by Gonzalez, and he will secure it for out number 3. Ryan Ritter scores on a sacrifice bunt from Eric Brown Jr., and Noah Bridges, a batter later, sends one over the right field wall for a solo shot to take the 5-3 lead over the Wareham Gatemen. To the 8th inning we go, and you're listening to the Gatemen Radio Network.
One of the area's best restaurants is located right up the street, Brewfish Bar and Eatery. Brewfish offers 20 rotating craft beers on tap and creative pub food. Check out their off-the-menu brunch with a Bloody Mary bar and $5 mimosas on Sundays. Join us for outdoor dining and drinks under the tent or for live music. Located on Route 105 in Marion.
Welcome back to the Gatemen Radio Network. Gatemen facing a 5-3 deficit as Owen Diodati will get things started here in the 7th inning. Kellen Clark on deck and Jack Brannigan in the hole. Owen Diodati's going to cut on a miss for strike one.
Well, he's seen a lot of sliders from left-handers, but now facing a right-hander. That was a good first pitch changeup. Dove out of the zone below the barrel of Diodati. And he's behind 0-1.
The 0-1 from Kunzel was cut on and missed again by Diodati. Now down 0-2. Ball misses outside for the first ball of the count, now 1-2. with no outs to the leadoff batter, Owen Diodati, outfielder out of Alabama. Diodati sends this one into right center field. And the right fielder, Bridges, comes up to make the catch for out number 1.
Well, I call that pitch a changeup from Kunzel, but it's moving almost like a splitter. It's got splitter spin to it, and Diodati saw 4 of them to start off that at-bat. Finally got a fastball, put a good swing on it, but not enough to get it over the head of Noah Bridges. Either way, that pitch diving away from the left-handed hitters for the Gatemen. Very impressive from Kunzel.
Kellum Clark sends this one to right center, and he will get on with a 1-out hit, which will bring the tying run to the plate at Jack Brannigan, who led off the 7th inning with a leadoff triple to get things going for the Gatemen offense in the 7th.
Well, Brannigan continues his tear. He was 2 for 4 with a double against Brewster. Now back at the plate, 3 for 3 tonight with the triple and the run scored. Got that big inning started for the Gatemen where they ultimately tied the game. But down once again, and a big time for number 9 to step up.
Ball's missed inside for ball 1. 77-mile-an-hour breaking ball from Kunzel out of George Washington. Checks over at Kellum Clark at first. No tag. He will be safe. Brannigan looks at another ball. 2-0.
Look for Brannigan to jump on a fastball here. He has a 2-0 count, and Kunzel can't find the zone. See if he can get a pitch to hit, more importantly, a pitch to drive, and get something going for the Gatemen.
I agree. You're going to get your best pitch of your at-bat right here as you are ahead 2-0. The fastball catches the inside corner for 2-1. 91 miles an hour.
Fastball coming in hot, sinking hard, and moving in on the right-handed batter, Brannigan. A good 2-0 pitch to get Kunzel right back in this count, 2-1.
Kunzel gets Brannigan looking. 2-2 with 1 out. Kellum Clark on first. Cade Kern on deck, who reached on an error and later on scored. Brannigan works the count full after he looks at a ball 3.
That was a good competitive ball 3. A slider just below the bottom of the strike zone. Wanted Brannigan to chase 2-2 and laid off on a very competitive pitch from Trevor Kunzel.
And a ball 4 from Jack Brannigan to set up Cade Kern with 1 out and 2 on.
Big plate appearance from Jack Brannigan. So confident at the plate. You can just see it in his eyes when he steps to the dish. Knows he's going to get a hit, and in that situation didn't get a pitch to hit. Puts a couple runners on for Cade Kern.
Cade Kern will have to wait as Kunzel will check on Kellum Clark at second.
Come on, baby. Trust it, Trev. Go get him, kid.
Dolan telling Kunzel to step off. Here comes the 0-0 to Kern. Kern gets fooled on an inside breaking ball. Kunzel kicks and fires. Finds a lower corner for an 0-2 count to Kern.
2 straight breaking balls to Kern. Both of them had him off balance. It'll be interesting to see what Kunzel comes with here.
Kuntzel in full control with 1 out and 2 strikes on the outfielder Kern. He deals. Kern sends this one into right field. Under it is Bridges. Bridges drops it. We don't have an exact view on it as Kellum Clark is turning third hard, and he will be in safely as the Gatemen cut the lead to 5-4. I apologize, we don't have a view on the play, but we will wait to see what our software tells us.
Well, the dugout blocks our view of that right field corner, but either way, that ball dropped in. Cade Kern standing on first base with a long single, and Kellum Clark came around to score. It was a high fly ball off the bat of Kern. Should have given Bridges plenty of time to get underneath it and make the catch.
They're gonna call it a single from Kern. We don't know exactly what happened over there, as we mentioned before, but nonetheless, scores 5-4 with Brannigan on second, Kern on first.
Well, it's a line drive in the scorebook, and a single scores a run.
No matter what it is scored, we will take it.
Now Roberts out of the dugout after ball 1 to Tres Gonzalez, and he is not a happy man. You can see it on his face, as at this point I think he's just trying to kill some time. We'd like to give him the benefit of the doubt, but as darkness continues to roll in here in Cotuit, the Gatemen threatening down 5-4, and no lights here means when this is too dark, we are done playing baseball. There's now plenty of innings that we've already played. This would count as a full game should it get canceled or called off the rest of the way. Either way, he's going to bring in a new pitcher as Kuntzel's evening will be done, and we'll be back in a moment on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Welcome back to the Gatemen Radio Network with Tres Gonzalez. With 1 out and a 1-0 count and a 5-4 ball game in favor of Cotuit. Brannigan on second and Kern on first after his RBI single that brought in Kellum Clark. Mike Roberts makes a pitching change.
And the new man is Zachary Fruit. After the pitch to Gonzalez, we'll talk about him a little bit.
Second pitch to Gonzalez will miss outside for a 2-0 count.
Fruit 2-0 with a 3.72 ERA on the season out of Eastern Michigan University. This is his 10th appearance, 9 2/3 innings pitched so far.
This one's going to clip the outside corner to Gonzalez.
And I didn't say it very eloquently before the break, but this is just a game of darkness control as we get down the stretch here. No lights at Cotuit. It is getting darker by the minute as Gonzalez takes a ball. Count goes 3-1. And Mike Roberts is doing everything he can to drag this one out. Fruit came in the ball game, tied his shoe on the mound, and now he is itching to get back out to the mound and prolong this stretch as best he can.
Gonzalez fouls this one off near the concession stand off the first baseline.
5 innings is considered a full game, so if this one is called off at any point, it'll be the final result. Right now, Cotuit in the lead 5-4, but the Gatemen threatening with a couple runners on. Full count to Tres Gonzalez.
The 3-2 to Gonzalez gets through the infield. It will be a hit as Brannigan will round third, heading for home, and he will be safe. Tie ball game here in Cotuit. Kern will stand on second with Tres Gonzalez on first.
And that is so sweet. So sweet for the Gatemen. After the prolonged pitching change, trying to drag the game out as long as you possibly can, drag the inning out. And Tres Gonzalez comes up, knocks in a run, ties the game, and does exactly what Cotuit didn't want in that situation.
You can see Mike Roberts heading back closer into the dugout. Fresh count to Jarvis as he will look at the first pitch for a ball 1. Fruit catches the inside half to even up the count at 1 with 1 out, runners on first and second. Fruit delivers to Jarvis as Jarvis pops this one to the left side of the field. And it will be a foul ball.
Well, our writer, Barrett, to my right, was saying from the get-go, that's trouble. And that would have been trouble if it had fallen 6 inches toward the field of play. That was fouled by the smallest of margins and dropped in no man's land. All 3 defenders on the left side, Matt Suggs, Ryan Ritter, and Carter Trice converging, trying to make a play on that ball. Nobody got there. And Jim Jarvis was a very slim margin away from giving the Gatemen a lead. Now he goes to work with 2 strikes.
The trademarked Jimmy 2 strikes approach comes into effect as he looks at ball 2 to even up the count. Fruit delivers to Jarvis, and Jarvis will foul tip this one into the glove of Dolan for out number 2. Tommy Troy, who had a sacrifice fly to left field earlier in the ball game, now heads to the plate. Fruit steps on the rubber and looks at Troy. Gets a sign and deals. Misses outside. 1-0.
Troy 0 for 3 with a sacrifice fly. That was back in the 7th. And the run that tied the game at that point for the Gatemen. Now it's tied again, 5-5, after they've put up a couple this inning.
Another pitch misses outside. 2-0 now the count. With 2 outs and runners on second and first to the second baseman out at Stanford. Fruit misses with another breaking ball. 3-0. The green light is on for Tommy Troy. Fruit checks Kern, at second. Fruit deals on the 3-0. Troy pops this one up out of play. And the children will go into the woods to find the ball. Not often I get to commentate on it, but I love to talk about the kids chasing after the foul ball.
It is fun.
I did pick one up the other day.
They're after them in swarms.
I did pick up one after it hit my car over in YD. As Troy's going to foul this one off, and the kids will have another one that's chasing the woods. Full count now. After Troy was ahead 3-0 on Fruit. Big pitch coming up. Fruit the righty, dealing to Troy the righty, and Troy's going to cut and miss at this one. High fastball, off-speed pitch will sit down Troy. But 2 RBIs in the inning from Wareham will make it 5-5 as we head to the bottom of the 8th, and you're listening to the Gatemen Radio Network.
Whether you are recently retired or still working, Fairway Financial can help you create clearly defined retirement income strategies to help protect your wealth, create guaranteed income for life, and provide a legacy for your family. We are committed to earning your trust by thoroughly understanding your goals and dreams and helping you gain greater financial confidence. To learn more, visit Fairway Financial in South Yarmouth or go to fairwayfinancial.net.
Feel the power of a GMC. Test drive one today at Robertson's GMC, down on Cranberry Highway.
Welcome back to the Gatemen Radio Network. In a 5-5 ball game after a 2-run 8th inning from Wareham, now the pressure is on Cotuit to go ahead in the bottom of the 8th. Eli Saul still on the mound, pitching to Nathan Mortarella. Correction, Matt Suggs, the left fielder. Suggs pops this one up. And a great catch made by Kellum Clark in the Wareham Gatemen dugout.
Well, I can't believe, first of all, that Suggs swung at that first pitch. We mentioned that everybody's battling darkness out here, and Cotuit, who would clearly, quote-unquote, win this game if it's tied, but just based on where the standings are at, needs this to go dark as quickly as possible, and I expected them to try and work their at-bats in this inning as much as they could. Instead, Suggs comes out, cuts on the first pitch, and a quick out was exactly what Eli Saul needed.
And Eli Saul gets a quick strike. Ball thrown in the dirt, count even up at 1 with 1 out, nobody on. After a fly from Matt Suggs.
Obviously, a tie would be a tie, but what I meant by that is Cotuit ahead in the standings would need a tie much more than the Gatemen do in this particular situation. Is we're in a 5-5 game, that pitch is fouled off, and Donlin at the plate trying to battle, and I wouldn't be shocked if we don't start a 9th inning, unless this is as quick as Eli Saul seems to be working so far.
Eli Saul gets Dolan on the elbow, and he will be awarded a base. No padding on that left elbow. And discussion between Don. You go ahead, Nick. You got it.
Well, I think they're just debating whether he was hit or not. It hit him in the hand, I believe. That's what at least the umpire is pointing to. It looked to me like the elbow from the get-go as well, but he did check his swing. It hit him in the hand, and now Snedden's out of the dugout to talk about it. And now it's Snedden's turn to drag this out as long as he possibly can. I'm all for adding elements of strategy to baseball, especially with having pitchers hit and things like that. But when you have to factor in darkness into the later innings of a ball game in terms of how you play it, it really changes the game completely, and I'm not sure that I like it that much. That's been the case in Cotuit all season, and now as the sun continues to set, even with the start time that was half an hour earlier than it normally is, just can't believe that this is becoming a factor still, and that appears to be the case as we work through the bottom of the 8th inning, still tied. Donlin, hit by a pitch a moment ago, stands at first base, and Eldridge Figueroa out from the dugout. He's the pinch runner.
The discussion between Snedden and the home plate umpire will conclude. And Jace Grady, the center fielder, steps into the box with 1 out and Figueroa on first. After Dolan was hit by a pitch.
And now it's getting a little bit too dark to see the baseball, so this will likely be it. I emphasize that just because of how big a moment this is in the ball game. Gatemen trying to keep it tied.
Saul misses outside in the 0-0 to Jace Grady.
Cameron James well off the line at third base. Jarvis at short up the middle.
A hit in the left field gap. As Figueroa's going to try for third and will be in there with runners on the corners. 1 out with a huge at-bat from Jace Grady.
Well, right before that pitch came, I mentioned where Jarvis was positioned at shortstop. He was up the middle, and that ball went right to where he would normally be playing in a regular defensive positioning situation. That time, with the numbers on Jace Grady, clearly having him as more of a pull hitter, Jarvis was up the middle. It got past him into left field and puts runners on the corners with 1 out. Now Carter Trice coming to bat. He's 0 for 4 tonight, but just needs a ball in play with 1 out here and a runner at third to give Cotuit the lead.
Eli Saul deals on the bunt attempt that's popped up behind Crooks, and Crooks will lay out for it, but unable on a good hustle play from the Oklahoma catcher.
Well, Jimmy Crooks had a play on that ball. It was behind the backstop, and you mentioned how much room there is here in Harrison in Cotuit. A good 40 feet of space behind home plate to the backstop, and Crooks had a chance, laid out, going toward the screen, and just out of his reach, the baseball fell.
Can see the divot marks from his cleats below the Cotuit logo behind home plate. Saul checks at first again. Clark returns back to Saul, and Saul will go back to work on Carter Trice. Trice 0 for 4 on the day. He will try to lay down a bunt. Kellum Clark will send it home to Crooks, and Crooks not in time. Cotuit takes a 6-5 lead.
Well, Kellum Clark was already playing in, and that's the second risky safety squeeze we've seen tonight. A good push bunt from Carter Trice goes to the first base side. Clark was up with it, got a good accurate throw to Jimmy Crooks, but a beautiful slide to the outside part of the base from Figueroa. He was just out of the reach of Crooks' tag, and that gives Cotuit the lead. Now, Snedden here is out to talk about this play, and I think he needs to get back in the dugout quickly because we need to play as much baseball as possible, and this call is not going to get overturned.
I don't think it was close. I mean, it was a greatly placed bunt down the first baseline. Kelm Clark got to it, but too much speed on a greatly placed bunt.
He needed to come home. I agree with him making the decision he did, but Figueroa is clearly safe, and now the Gatemen just need to hope they get another chance to come to bat next inning. Snedden is back in the dugout, and Saul needs to work as quickly as he possibly can through the three-hitter Ryan Ritter and then whoever is to follow.
Called strike to Ryan Ritter. Huge Western Division matchup here at Lowell Park as the sun begins to set behind the trees.
The cloud cover isn't helping. Plenty of cloud cover has been here all day in Cotuit, and that making it even darker than it otherwise would be.
Closing in on a 3-hour ball game. This ball's going to miss outside. The shortstop out of Kentucky.
And I mentioned once again, we started this ball game a half hour early, particularly to try and avoid the situation we are currently in, which is running out of daylight and having this game cut short. But as time rolls on, that seems more and more like it's going to be the case.
3 balls and a strike now to Ritter. Now, I'm not going to say this because we're down and we're in the situation, but I've always thought that the Cape League should go and play afternoon games, at 1 o'clock on Saturdays or, Fridays or, busier days in the Cape. Because Ritter will be aboard with the walk to load the bases for Eric Brown Jr.
That's an interesting point you bring up. I think a lot of the people that come out to these games still do live here year-round. As much as it is a vacation spot, people work, people have things going on during the day, and I would guess that's the only reason why there aren't more day games. People, no matter what their activities during the day may be, it's tough to play a 1 o'clock game and expect the same turnouts you get. Granted, there are massive turnouts here in the later games. I think that's part of the reason Chatham, with their 7 o'clock start time, and Orleans, with their 7 o'clock start time, pulls as many fans as they do. And at the same time, like you're saying, if you play, afternoon games might very well be necessary here in Cotuit because this is becoming an issue. And now a mound meeting for the Gatemen. And they're going to bring in a new pitcher, and that'll essentially be the final nail. There is, in my mind, no way they can safely start another inning. And they're already down in this game, bringing on a new pitcher.
And Saul's day is done. And we will tell you about the new Wareham pitcher when we come back on the Gatemen Radio Network. Welcome back to the Gatemen Radio Network. Gatemen trail 6-5 after a busy bottom of the 8th inning from the Cotuit Kettleers.
So, Harrison, right during the break, we were talking about that rule that's in place here in the Cape League where if you don't finish an inning due to darkness, the score reverts back to the score of the final completed inning.
Correct.
So, in this case, if the Gatemen are unable to finish this inning, the score at the end of the 7th was 5-3. So they would still lose this game. And I mean, just trying to figure out the strategy here, what you can possibly do in this situation to make this as good as possible. They're down here in the 8th. They were down at the end of the 7th, so no matter what, the way this score is right now, it doesn't mean good things for the Gatemen, who are likely going to lose this game, as I can't imagine we start another inning.
Eric Brown Jr., who's been swinging a hot bat as of late, goes to work on the new pitcher, Chris Barraza, out of Arizona.
Barraza 0-1. This is his 3rd appearance, a 6 ERA across 3 innings pitched. Came on to this Gateman season late and delivered ball 1 to Eric Brown.
The 0-1. Eric Brown cuts on a miss. Fouls this one off. 0-2 now to the Coastal Carolina middle infielder.
Bases loaded, 1-1 lead for Cotuit. And now an 0-2 count on Brown.
Barraza delivers on the 0-2 and will hit Eric Brown Jr. in the back. The meltdown continues for Wareham. And the score is now 7-5.
Well, that might be just a little bit harsh, Harrison. That said, it's been a tough inning for the Gatemen. Noah Bridges now the batter for Cotuit after Chris Barraza came on, hit a batter, and walked home a run. With the bases loaded, the Gatemen trying to battle out of this inning. Either way, I can't imagine they start another one as Cotuit leads 7-5 in a very crucial ball game here in terms of the West Division standings. And Barraza, who got a swing and a miss a moment ago on Noah Bridges, now faces a 1-1 count. 1 out, bottom of the 8th inning, 7-5 lead for Cotuit. Bases still juiced as the pitch is in the dirt and it scoots by Jimmy Crooks. That'll bring another run home, and the runners will each move up a base. So Bridges is in the box. That'll go down as a wild pitch. And Barraza, who came in the game, is just allowed a run. So 2-1 is the count. Noah Bridges in the box. And ducks on the pond for him. 2nd and 3rd. 8-5 lead for Cotuit, and Barraza tries to battle out of this one for the game. And that pitch is popped up and foul down the left field line. That'll twist out of play and strike 2 on Bridges.
Wareham in one of those situations again where they seem like they're in it, they come back. We always say there's no fight. There isn't any. We always say this team doesn't give up, and there's a lot of fight in this team.
They don't.
And then they get in these moments where they have innings like this. As this one is sent deep into the right field gap and is caught on by Tress Gonzalez. Runners will advance and score.
Ritter tags from 3rd and scores. Eric Brown tags from 2nd.
And it is now 10-5. With a runner on 3rd.
And now the rain starts to fall in Cotuit. Insult to injury here at Lowell Park. The Gatemen came into this inning tied 5-5, have now allowed 4 runs in the frame. And they're down 9-5. Meanwhile, it is almost completely dark. I mean, I cannot tell how these hitters can see the ball at this point. I'm having trouble here from behind the backstop. This is quickly becoming a safety hazard for everybody involved, as the Gatemen just need to get one more out to get out of this inning. There's no way we start in ninth. So at this point, I think that the score will stand as it is and the result will stand as it is, as a pitch is taken for a ball by Noah Bridges.
Noah Bridges awaits the 1-1 from Barraza. Barraza deals, and this one's sent into the right field gap. 10-5 Cotuit. Wouldn't shock me here if the game gets called. Barraza deals, and it's going to be called strike one.
So the rain is starting to come down here in Cotuit, and we apologize. We might have to cut this off at any minute. To all of our loyal listeners who have joined us today, thank you for being with us. And we're going to have to call this one either way, as Martorella sends a deep drive to right field, and he flips his bat. That should get out of here. And a home run from Nathan Martorella right as we're trying to sign this off puts Cotuit on top 12-5. It's a 2-run shot that scores Brett Roberts. Martorella will come around to score. And as the rain starts to pour, we have to cut this one off. Cotuit will win it. Gatemen drop their second in a row. And we will see you again, hopefully soon, on the Gatemen Baseball.